Here are 15 things that poor people do that the wealthy do not. First, people who are poor watch a lot of TV. Let me put it this way. If you have time to watch reality TV, you're probably poor. It's always surprising to see how much time poor people waste watching TV shows that don't matter. If you know who a star is dating, it's one of those things that grabs your attention and doesn't let go. If you watch TV shows every week as they come on and have a favorite news channel, you probably watch too much TV. So that's why your life is like it is. Let me explain. Celebrity gossip and buzz adds nothing to your life. It only helps well-known people. Rich people would rather be on TV than watch it. You might say, but I'm watching The Simpsons, which is a really funny show and helps me relax. That's the exact problem. You turn away from your problems instead of facing them and getting rid of them. There are rare situations when, in the world of John Lennon, time you enjoy wasting is not wasted time. But think about it. Should you really want to stay inside and watch a screen all day? Number 2, people who are poor eat fast food. Health is very important, but many poor people don't care what's in their food or what a good meal looks like, and they don't know much about nutrition either. People who don't have much money are filling their heads with lots of sugar and fats that aren't good for them. They're actively hurting their bodies, which means that they can't do as well as they could. If you aren't healthy, it will damage every aspect of your life. You'll feel bad physically, mentally, at work, and even in your personal life. Third, people who are poor buy clothes or other things that are on sale. Let me put it this way. The only thing you should buy on sale is stocks. Rich people are focused on making more money, while poor people try to save or stretch what little money they have. Just give it some thought. The clothes that end up on sale are the ones that people who could pay full price didn't want. When you buy clothes on sale, you just look like someone who can't afford to pay full price. Number 4, poor people wake up later than rich people in their early years. Laziness is more common among the poor than among the wealthy. We know that the last sentence will really bother some of you, but statistics show that it's true. If you worked on yourself when you were young, you are much less likely to be poor as an adult. Don't waste time on things that don't matter. At some point, you will be so far behind what the world wants from you that you will be unhappy. People who don't focus on growth in their early years end up having to work much harder and with less success later on just to stay alive. Just to name some examples, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, and other people like them get up very early. 5, a lot of poor people like sports. In reality, you have no reason to watch sports unless you are a paid athlete or the owner of a team. The same thing goes for TV. It's a way to get away from the real world. Think of it this way. You're putting yourself in a place where you can't change the result of the game on your own. Zero impact. This behavior stays with you, and you end up being a bystander instead of a player or an owner in life. And when you haven't done anything better yourself, you start to criticize other people. 6, poor people don't take as many showers as rich people do. At first, we thought this was a lie, but it turns out to be true. When you really think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Most jobs today are in the service industry where people have to talk to each other in order for the exchange of value to go well. People who don't take care of themselves will be less successful over time than those who do. People don't trust them as much and don't want to be around them as much. All this affects them in their everyday lives. What kind of friends will you get if people don't like you and don't want to be around you? Even though it seems silly, the first step to success should be able to take a shower in the morning. Number 7, poor individuals blame others for their problems. How many people do you know who have an excuse or point the finger at something else for not being effective yet? There are some things we can't change, but you can change 99% of your life. Don't forget that. Your life is in your hands. You are in charge of the people you hang out with. Your health is in your hands. You want to change these? Make something happen. Life is not what occurs to us. It's how we act when bad things happen. When bad things happen, poor people choose to be their own victims. While the rich look into it and study it, they try to figure out what happened, why it happened, and how they can protect themselves in the future. One person acts like a weak victim while the other uses it as a chance to grow. 8th, poor people don't have any money saved up. One thing that makes the poor different from the rich is that they don't plan for what's coming next. Putting money away gives you room to grow. Let's say something bad happens. If you have money saved up, the problem is fixed and you can go on with your life. What do you do if you don't and it's an emergency? You either sell an asset like your car, house, etc., or you can take out a loan. For the wealthy, When the situation is over, they are in the same place they were before, but without the money they saved. For someone who is poor, on the other hand, their way of life has been drastically changed, or the debt now owns them. Let's look at the opposites now. The chance comes up. Those who have saved money can now improve their lives, while others can't afford to do so. Because of this, the rich get richer while the poor get poorer. Number 9. People who are poor use credit cards or get loans to buy things that aren't important. One of the main ways that rich and poor people are different is how they use credit. The rule is simple. Don't borrow money to buy something that won't make you more money than the loan. It's really that easy. You should only use credit for investments. On number 12. You'll find out more about this. 10th. Poor people tend to have more children and have them younger. The truth is that kids cost a lot of money. We all know how much fun it is to make them, or at least try. But people can't get past this point. To give you an idea of how much it costs, if you live in one of the more developed countries, it will cost you about $250,000 to raise a child. Due to a lack of schooling, a bad environment, and other things, poor people tend to have more children and have them at a younger age than rich people. While the rich wait a few years until the living conditions get better so they can give their child the best chance to do well, the poor just go ahead and have a child. Once the baby is born, they have to work hard just to stay afloat and move forward. It's almost impossible to just barely stay alive. 11. People who are poor don't go to the doctor often enough. We've talked before about how important health is, but this is an essential aspect. People who are poor don't get checked out often. Let's say you happen to get an unpleasant sickness like cancer by chance. If you get regular checkups, you'll find out about it early and be able to treat it for less money. If you don't do that, you might not find out about it until it's too late. It will cost you and everyone in your family a lot of money. And even if you have a lot of money, you could still lose your life. 12. Poor people waste their money before they have it. Spending money before you have it is one of the most dangerous things you can do. As soon as you start to borrow money or buy things before you can pay for them, your life starts to go downhill. You can't afford something if you don't have enough money to give up without making your life worse. Number 13. People who are poor hang out with other people who are also poor. Do you know that you are a combination of the 5 people you spend the most time with? If there are 4 people around you, who is the 5th? One way people make sure they stay poor is by associating with or hanging out with other poor people who reinforce their own views about being poor. You need to be around people who will push you and inspire you, who are doing amazing things themselves, and whose success will make you want to do more than what you're just doing now. You might want to check if you're still hanging out with the same people you did when you were young. Don't be afraid to leave a group of people for something better. If you don't, people who are unhappy with their own lives will probably try to ruin you so they can feel better about themselves. Poor people never follow through with their plans or potential, which is habit number 14. You can't change who your parents are, where you were born, or how people treat you in the world. You can only control how many hours you spend working on your dream. There are only 24 hours in a day for everyone living. Some do a lot more than others, though. If you work hard to learn more about what you're excited about and put what you've learned into practice, you'll be successful in no time. You've heard that in the first 3 years, 9 out of 10 companies fail. Well, do you know how many businesses fail because they never get started? All of them. If you have an idea, work on it. Put it out there. Get feedback. Improve it. And start it again and again and again. Number 15. People who are poor think that other people should help them get to the top. You are not owed anything by the world. Nobody does. Even if you don't believe it, you're on your own here. The things that happen in your life are up to you. The thing is, everyone thinks that it will be great when they are young. Then, though, life happens. Only the best people get what they deserve in this world. The top. Those who never give up, who never stop learning and changing, and who know that no one else can solve their problems for them. Meet them straight on. And along the way, you might meet people who feel the same way as you and want to travel with you for a while. If you don't, you'll just be part of the group that's supposed to fail. If you know someone who does any of these 15 things, please do them a favor and show them this video. You're still here? Oh, quite interesting. You are a real viewer, so thank you. Here's an extra fact. The poor are much more religious than the rich. Can you imagine the chaos if this was the first scene of the video? Statistics show that successful people depend on themselves for their well-being, while those who are poor hope that a mythical force will somehow repay them for being good. Even if a president or CEO talks about God in a speech, that doesn't mean they are religious. Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, was an atheist for most of his life, but he changed his mind because he might run for office soon. But why is it common for the Jews to be wealthy? If you want the answer to this question, watch this next.